Okay, let's see if she still rolls. We've been here in spot number 3 at Covered Wagon RV Park for 8.5 months. This is the first time Dusty is on the move. We had intentions of moving her every once in a while, but yeah, you know about those intentions. We didn't. But she still works. That's great. Now we're gonna go back here. I think. What's he doing? He's coming back. We're gonna hook up our car because we're gonna take our car with us just in case something happens and we need to go buy a part or something. We're gonna show you how to hook up the car. All right, Kevin's gonna walk us through it. I hope you remember. It's been a long time.
Yes.
All right, take the cover off.
This is our tow bar, which connects to the car. And there's a tow bar on the front of the car.
So now we have to line up the car. That's usually my job, but today I'm filming. So he will do that. Yep, that's pretty good. That's pretty good, Kevin. Right?
Close enough for Arizona.
Let's see.
Close.
Too close?
Are you guys out of here?
Hi.
Just doing an overnight just to make sure everything works. So when we are ready to leave, we don't got to spend time in the repair shop.
Do you mind being in there? I wasn't sure. I'm just starting. But he gave us a thumbs up, and those are our favorite dogs here at the campground. Can we meet the dogs again on camera?
Say hi.
There's Ace.
This is Ace.
Hi, Ace.
And this is Finley.
Hi, Finley, who by mistake I was calling Finnegan. But yeah,
okay.
yeah, look, they're
Yes,
so
just
cute. They're so cute. Yeah, we're just going for one night. We haven't moved our RV in 8.5 months, so we want to make sure everything still
I know how
works.
that works.
Yes, it's a
Think
good
about it,
thing
should
to do.
start ours.
When are you getting yours back?
The 8th now?
Hopefully they ate.
Wow. Okay. Well, we'll keep our fingers crossed
I
for
know,
you.
we're so excited.
Us too.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Bye. Yeah, they actually took their RV in for some repairs, and luckily there was an RV here that somebody was willing to lend them. So they've been living in that. Anyway, back to car hooking up. Go ahead, Kevin.
Well,
We missed a part.
we have here the tow bar, which extends until you get it hooked up. Once you're towing, it locks at the longest position. And this tow bar assembly is attached actually right to the frame of the car. So to install this bar setup here, the whole front had to be taken off the car. The front bumper and the grille and the lights and everything until the frame is exposed. And then once that's attached,
Can you show us where you put that?
yeah, these are safety cables, so in case the hitch fails somehow, something breaks or comes undone, these cables will continue to pull the car behind us until we can safely stop. So this bar here, you can remove and store while you're camped, so you don't drive around with this bar on the front, and that, I guess, prevents it from being stolen too.
And Kevin uses it for exercising.
Yes, it's kind of heavy. Here you got these shackles. So the safety cables attached to that
missed the
frame.
first part. We
It's
already
the same
took care of
thing.
the first part by
thing.
attaching that. No, here, you didn't show us how this connects. So I have a feeling we'll make another video, because that one was kind of interrupted by socializing. But this gives you this is the introduction.
Next thing we have is the 7-point electrical connection. So while you're driving, the tail lights and turn signals on the car will work, but also it charges the battery in the car, because with the ignition off and those lights working and everything, you can pull the battery out of the battery. And then this is the final piece. It's a safety. So if the car does become disconnected from the RV and you're on the highway, if you pull this little thing out, the brakes are activated and the car will stop dead. So that's all set up, ready to go. Next thing we do is go find my buddy.
Your buddy. You've ignored him for 8.5.
Yeah,
He might not want to hang out with you anymore. Here's his shirt, but here's his green sweater, by the way.
Brake buddy.
Brake buddy, our friend.
Brake buddy goes in the car here.
Yeah, I'm really not at a good angle for filming that.
Okay. Brake buddy goes there.
Yeah.
On the floor,
Yeah.
attaches to the brake pedal. You can hear a little pump. It's an air compressor. We're plugged into the 12-volt outlet.
And you move the chair, and you
Move this-
elbowed the chair.
Move the seat up, so Brake Buddy is kind of squeezed between the brake pedal and the seat. So whenever I hit the brakes up front, there's an inertial sensor in Brake Buddy. And the inertial sensor will say, if we're trying to slow down really fast, Brake Buddy's going to hit the brake in the car, so the car slows down too, instead of pushing the RV forward and making it harder for us to stop. You can set the sensitivity on it, so if you want, you can have Brake Buddy hit the brakes like every time, or you can set it so that Brake Buddy is a little more judgmental about the urgency and says, well, we're not really trying to stop really fast and hard, so let's not do it until it's really necessary.
Yeah.
So here's a test.
And we
See
have
how-
our 2020 decorations here, very nice. Let's move those so we can see better.
So the pedal is pushed, and it's not pushing lightly or sensitively like you would if you had your foot on the pedal. It's ramming it all the way as far as it will go. And for that reason, the car is not on, and there is no power assist to the brakes. If there was any power, any vacuum power left that assisted the brakes, when that pedal crunched, the wheels of the car would lock up and it would pretty much stop the RV as well. So you don't want the brakes hitting so hard as though you had power brakes.
But that's why you also have to push the seat forward like that, so that it pushes against the seat.
Pushes
comes
against the
back.
seat and shoves the pedal forward. So now,
And in some states,
All set
this
up.
is required by law, and in some states it's not.
one thing
So that
is
if you're going to be a full timer crossing, back and forth and through some states and whatever, the easiest thing is to just have it and put it in every time you're driving, because first of all, it's much safer, and again, secondly, it is law in some states, and this way you never have to check, is it legal or in this one or not, or you just consistently put your buddy in here. Let the buddy do his job.
a couple more
Give
things
him
on here.
purpose.
This is a little like a radio transmitter, so that whenever Brake Buddy is activated, a little light comes on in the RV and we know that it's actually working. And this is the connection to that little cord on the front bumper,
The red one.
the red one, so that if that comes disconnected, this will fire Brake Buddy. It's basically saying the car is broken loose and it's on its own and we better stop.
Yeah, and that way, like,
That's
let's say it
important.
comes off while you're driving on the highway, the car will just, stop, which is also bad, but at least it won't careen all over the place and go into oncoming traffic and just roll everywhere. It does provide a certain aspect of minimizing the dangers of something like that happening. But as Kevin showed you, we also have these blue cables, which are intended, like let's say something happens to our actual Falcon 2. A lot of people use Blue Ox. We have the Falcon 2 here. Let's say something did happen and it came undone. You still have the cables that theoretically should keep the car following you, just not quite as effectively. All right, anything else you'd like to say?
Last final checkup on everything before we move. The propane is off, so just in case there's an accident, we don't have propane spraying all over. The fridge has to be off because it runs on propane or electricity, and both will be disconnected.
And that's just something we do. Not everybody turns their propane off. Some people want to keep the little flame on in their refrigerator, but we felt that it was actually better for the fridge not to have that little flame going because you're not level when you're driving.
Car is in neutral. All the connections are done on the towing assembly.
And you cross the blue
cables to create a cradle. So if that hitch comes apart and just drops, it doesn't slam into the pavement. It's actually held up by the cables.
Okay.
Tires are good. Doors are good. We can do a light check.
I have your masks. Sorry. I was moving the 2020 decorations. Today is the last day of 2020. We are so excited to get to the next year.
I'm going to hit the brakes and then the left and right turn.
Oh yes, this is the other thing we do. We make sure that the electrical connection works. So I'm going to kind of stand over here where he can see me in his rearview mirror. And then he's going to, there, okay, see the lights come on? That was his brake lights. Now we've got the blinker on this side and the blinker on the other side. And everything blinking all at the same time. You see how it coordinates with the lights on the actual RV? So all is good. And that's it. And I actually decided, we haven't done this before, but we're leaving our bike and we're leaving the barbecue here. And so we had bought these cones before, those cones. And I'm just gonna actually put them here in our driveway so that nobody gets any funny idea of pulling in here, because we want it to be available when we come back. So I'll do that. Let's see here. And I invented the idea of putting canned beans underneath just to keep them here, because sometimes it does get rather windy. Okay. So I'll probably set the other two up, but first, I'm excited. This is our first outing in 8.5 months. We are psyched, and we're gonna go celebrate the new year out in the desert. So with that, I will say goodbye for now. From Tanya, with love. Bye.